Education regular meeting, Monday, September 16th, 2024. If you'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schatzel, will you call the roll?
Dr. Knoll?
Here.
Ms. Brown? Ms. Brown?
Here. Interrupted.
Mr. Kavesky?
Here.
Ms. Davis?
Here.
I get a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions or concerns? Mr. Schatzel, will you call the roll?
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Dr. Knoll? Mr. Kavesky?
Aye. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written for the regular meeting on August 19th, 2024.
And that's with the original packet we sent out had employment for all the course substitutes at Canton South High School. We made the correction in the minutes that you all have, so that way it reflects the building they're actually in. Those are correct minutes.
I'll second. Any questions, concerns? Mr. Schatzel, will you call the roll?
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Okay, the school report.
Yep, so for our school report tonight, I'd actually like to introduce our Director of Curriculum Instruction. This is Jamie Brown, who's going to introduce a lot of our new staff that we have here at Kent Local with us as well. So excited. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Brown, and she can make the introduction of our new staff.
Good deal. All right. Hey team, as I say your name, you don't have to stand the whole time. I know that could be awkward, but just kind of make yourself known to the board because they're going to want to greet you. They're going to want to put a face with a name as quickly as they can. So I want to introduce Laura Lyle, which feels weird to introduce you as a new staff member because she's kind of been in the fabric of our district for a while, and it's been neat to work with her in middle school soccer and some other things. Laura Brayson is ninth grade, okay. But Madison's a senior.
Yes.
That doesn't seem right. Laura is a secretary at the high school, and she also serves as treasurer for the athletic boosters. So she is greatly involved in our district and our community. Josie Dillon. I had Josie marked off because we didn't think she was going to be here. Her little one was sick today, so we're glad that she made it.
He's doing better.
Good.
She is a third grade teacher at the elementary, and her 6-month-old, his name is Charlie.
Who's now 9 months?
Nine
It was
months.
probably from a couple months ago.
Listen, my data is bad. I gotta work on this.
They grow fast.
Josie came to us from St. Mary's School in German Village in Columbus. And she comes to us with a lot of experience and expertise. She had completed letters training, I believe, before she came as well. So we're glad that she's here. Lee Elliott could not make it tonight. She is not with us. So Brittany Garibrandt is a permanent sub at the elementary. Brittany, everybody else is correcting me, so feel free to do it. See if I got this right. She has 3 children at Faircrest. Yes, Hayden
Yes.
is in 4th grade.
Yes.
Is it Riot?
Riot, yes.
Rhyatt.
Mhm.
That is a neat name. Riot is in 2nd grade, and Harlow is in kindergarten.
Mhm.
She also volunteers with the Canton South Youth Soccer Club, so we have teachers getting involved at all levels, staff members getting involved at all levels. Lindsay Hamilton is a title teacher at the elementary. Elementary got a lot of good snags this year. Lindsay has 2 children, Caroline and Callum, and she came to us from Perry. I love it when we can snag somebody from Perry. And she was a good snag. She actually is kind of going above and beyond as well because we learned after she joined us that she has to take a praxis test. And you're done already.
Yeah, we'll see.
What a good sport, going above and beyond, doing things that she didn't realize she was going to have to do. I'm sure it went fine. I'm sure it did. Zoe Hain is a first-year teacher. I'm going to go ahead and go through the list even if people aren't here. Is a first-year teacher. She was a cheerleader in college, and she's now assisting our cheerleading coach at the high school level as well. She's an intervention specialist at the elementary. Brooke Longhair is a permanent sub at the middle school, and you subbed at the end of last year, correct? Yes. And I'm hearing great things because relationships were established, so she is being welcomed back in, and I'm hearing that she is stepping up wherever needed, so we really appreciate her as well. Jordan Norris is a kindergarten teacher at the elementary. And a little interesting tidbit about Jordan, he was a chef previously, yes?
I was a line cook at the salon.
Like I said, a chef, we'll say
Totally
a
a
chef,
chef.
it's totally a chef, right? For a number of years before starting his career as a teacher, this is a second career for me as well. And I love the perspective that that brings to the classroom. And you're getting married next year, is that correct?
And June of next year, yep. It's under a year, June 7th.
You will be surrounded by a lot of staff members in your building that want to give you advice.
Already happened.
Can we give you advice on
I
what
trust
football
your-
team you're roots for? Because he has a
Yes.
Bengals sign hanging up in his room, so.
I think Mr. Gay was saying there's other things we gotta work on.
Yeah. Every day I walk in the building.
And then Travis is our construction trades teacher at the high school. And we're really glad he's joining us because he's bringing some outside experience as well. He's a certified state building inspector. What amazing perspective to bring to our students. They need that. So that's great. He's also a Boy Scout troop leader, so enjoys doing things outdoors. And his family, wife Jessica, married 19 years.
Yep, going on 20 in December,
So
yep.
he's who you need to talk to, not anybody else in the building. And you have a daughter that is 16
Yep.
and a son
Freshly
who's
driving.
14. And they go to Sandy Valley.
Yes.
So we'll be praying for him for those teenage years. So these are our staff members. Thank you so much for approving their hires. These are great additions to our district this year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey, and for you guys, and I do want to echo, it's been a great start. They've done an awesome job. Please know, you are welcome. And I mean this in all honesty. We always like for our board to get able to get a chance to get a face to a name, see everybody, hopefully. But unless you are very, very interested in school politics, not really, there's not really much politics, but in how the school board meeting works, if you'd like to slide out right now, maybe you're like some people that have told your family you have to be here all night. If you want some time at home, you are welcome to, you're welcome to slide out right now. Then no one will think differently at all. So if you want to stay, but like you,
Yeah.
okay, maybe, if you want to go, you're welcome. So, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
you.
Yes, thank you.
Nice meeting all of you.
Bye.
For real.
All good?
Thank
All
you.
right, take care.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
take
it.
care.
Nice meeting you.
Enjoy your year.
Hearing of the public?
Am I gonna lose points early then?
Just the Bengals flag.
I gotta get my
Oh,
down.
See, yeah.
Mark down.
That's normally a question we ask in the interview. I don't have any, anyone that's turned in any public speaks, so.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay, if you haven't noticed, we do have a different format here. This month, we've tried to lump some things together, so that way we didn't have a duplicate of last month's meeting where we were voting on 30 different things. So keeping it legal, but trying to lump things together that we can approve together and save us a little bit of time and energy. So the way that this will work, I have items A and B. Item A is our monthly report, so each month we'll probably have at least three of the four. Then and now certificates, hopefully we don't have every month, but they could be lumped in as well. So item A is our monthly reports. And if you flip to the treasurer's report section, exhibit TA1 is our check listing for the month of August. With a total of $2,422,270.21. I recommend approval of TA1. TA2 is the cash reconciliation for the month of August, showing a reconciled balance of $21,513,136.69, and that's for all of our funds. That's page 1 of TA2. Page 2 and 3 is our cash position report, which shows each individual fund's balance, and then the total of $21.5 million that matches the reconciliation. The auditors like to see that in there as well. Page 4 is a listing of all of our operating investments. It's an extensive list there. Total of that we're holding in U.S. Bank and Treasury notes, and agency securities, $12,686,416.03, which also matches the reconciliation. And then the last page of Exhibit TA2 is our comparisons, budget versus actual, where we thought our estimates would be to this point through 2 months, and where we're actually at, and then this year compared to last year. So far, we're trending really close to what our estimates were. Our real estate collections are down significantly this year compared to last year, but that's just a timing difference. Last year, the county auditor collected a huge amount of advances early on. That's not the case this year. But I expect our real estate taxes to be really close in line with what we were last year, even though right now we're trending down. But in total, for the general fund, our receipts are up about $168,000 compared to what our estimates were, and our expenditures are also up about $100,000, about $122,000 to be exact, over what our estimates were. Most of that being in supplies. We're still seeing some increases in supplies. Things are just more expensive than they have been, so we'll keep an eye on that. So that's Exhibit TA2. Exhibit TA3. Then in now certificates, we have purchase order 2500639 for $3,000 for the legacy project, and 2500646, $5,900 for Spring Valley Golf Course. Since there were over 3,000 or more, they required board approval for those since the purchase order wasn't in place when the initial obligation was made. And then the last thing in item A is a listing of donations, and you'll notice this is in the treasurer's report now. We can approve this with all the other monthly reports. Waco Epworth Church, $100 to Faircrest Memorial Elementary School. An anonymous donor, $200 to Six-Man Mentoring. And then Dr. Larry Woods and various donors is $500, and those various donors are the next 3 that are listed there. Larry Woods, Vincent DeJoseph, and John and Judith Osborne for the total of $500. Larry Woods was $150, Vincent DeJoseph $150, and John and Judith Osborne $200. Mr. and Mrs. James added $5,000 for stadium turf donation. Class of 1974 donation, they donated $1,325 to help us add some graphics to our high school to help improve the look. Most of that's going to be done down in the event area, so keep a lookout for that. I'm not sure. I know Krista was starting to work on that as well, so we should start to see it hopefully by the winter sports seasons. Steph Batzinger, $125 donation to the Family Support Specialist Fund, which helps our students and families in need. And then Canton South Choir Boosters, $700 donation for voice lessons for choir and drama students. So that's item A. We can vote on all those all at once, so I recommend approval of item A, 1 through 4.
Move to approve.
Second? Second. Any questions or concerns?
Just out of curiosity, is the Spring Valley Golf, is that for a whole season?
Yeah. And we have boys and girls and middle school that
Oh.
participate there.
That covers that?
Yeah. It covers competitions, some practices, some practice time for the students as well, so.
Mr. Schatzel, will you call the roll?
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Kavetsky?
Aye.
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
And then item B is our permanent appropriation resolution. Each year, we're required to adopt a permanent appropriation resolution that sets the spending authority for the district for the year. If you'll remember, in June, we passed just temporary appropriations that covered us for July, August, and the first part of September. This covers us for the entire fiscal year. So Exhibit TB1. The first the first 4 pages there are the actual resolution that's generated from our fiscal system, showing total appropriation authority of $42,070,292.93 for all funds, and $29,640,190.96 for the general fund, which is our operating fund. That includes carryovers. The actual appropriation authority, if you flip to the very last page, I break this out and I turn this into the county auditor because it helps them sort through the way our fiscal system is as well. The actual current year appropriations in the general fund, $29,001,492. And then you can see all the other funds listed there. Some funds to note: on retirement fund, $1,974,242. Our permanent improvement fund, $1,404,243. Food service fund is 006, $1,362,430. And then the remainder of the special revenue funds go through 599 for a grand total of $40,558,468. That is our spending authority, and then we carried over purchase orders from last year of $1.5 million in total for that $42,070,294, which is the number on the formal resolution that the fiscal system generates. So I recommend approval of the appropriation resolution as it's constructed.
Can I get a motion to accept item B?
I'll make a motion that we accept item B.
Second. Any questions or concerns? Mr. Schatz will call the roll.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Trubisky?
Aye.
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye. Communications.
Yeah, so guys, just, it's hard to believe, I think we're in the 17th or 18th day of school already this school year, but it has been honestly an awesome start. So I just want to thank our staff, want to thank obviously our administration, our students, our families. I want to knock on wood because it really has been a very, very, very good start to the school year. Just a couple of things to keep you updated. One of them, obviously, that's our top priority all the time is safety. And so one of the things, and I think you guys know this, out and about there have been all sorts of things on social media about anonymous threats to schools. Sometimes they mention school names, a lot of times they don't. They just say your school or our school or things like that. Just to be very, very clear with you guys and with anybody that may be watching this, there has not, to this point in time, been any threats that have legitimately been made against Canton local schools. What's happened is that amount of volume that's on social media has led to conversations, people talking about it, and then some confusion. But anytime that we get a tip or anytime we get anything, our administration works with our law enforcement partners and we investigate it out to make sure, if it's legit, we're gonna take every step necessary to make sure that our buildings are safe for our students and staff. But I just kinda wanna put out there has been absolutely no threats to Canton Local, but there's a lot out there on social media that's led to a lot of discussions with all of that as well. And it's led to some confusion. So I just wanna be really, really clear, really proud of just the work that the team's done to make sure they're constantly looking into everything. A couple other things, school report cards, they were released on Friday officially out there. We were rated as a 3.5-star district, which is the exact same rating we were last year. There's a lot to really unpack with that, so what we'd like to ask is that in October, we come back together and do a board work session, very similar to how we've done in years past, open it up to the public. We've really kind of, unless they have to be here to present like Jamie and Lisa's just a good sport, and here Nick has to do, we've really told our administration, put your time and energy going to events for kids and going to events there. We're gonna ask them all to be here and do a presentation to you guys building by building. Be a little different in the fact that our middle school has new leadership, our high school has new leadership, but talk about where we are, what we're looking to do. Our curriculum department has new leadership, but just opportunities for you guys to ask questions. I'd like to use the same format we've done in the past of putting QR codes up for anyone in the public, and then we'll have people monitoring and asking questions as we go as well. But so if we could kind of plan on a board work session, 5 o'clock next month, right before they present that out with everything. But again, 3.5 stars, puts us right about in the middle of the pack. Obviously, we want to look for ways to improve, but glad there's no steps backwards in any way, shape, or form, and we know we have work to do. Student reps to the board. Krista and Andy are going to get us some student names. Dr. Knoll and Mrs. Brown, you guys are going to be on that committee. So I'll get them forward over to you, and we hope to have them here with us at that October meeting as we get started there for that. Want to take a moment and just, especially because we have them here with us, but just thank our booster club for everything that they do for us here. Nick, I don't want to leave out Katie, I don't want to leave out Lisa. Laura's obviously here with us. I know they're not officers, but it feels like it because I see them all the time. Amy and Angela, even though she lives about 6 hours away. Yeah, still coming in. And so there's just so much work and things that they do all the time behind the scenes, and to make sure that our student athletes and our coaches have what they need. So just appreciate you guys always being here, and know that it's really a thankless job a lot of times, but just want you to know that you're seeing it and that people recognize the work that you do. So just really do appreciate you guys in that. Two other things here. One, the building project, the HVAC. And please know on both of these, I'm talking, but if you have questions, you're gonna see me look over at Jason, and so you might as well just direct them to Jason instead of to me. But our building project right now, you're gonna see us put on there the gross max price number 3 for approval a little bit later. But our building is coming in right now, right basically under budget, on budget, very, very close. We may have to call a special board meeting before the end of September to do some approvals, because it's to actually upgrade the building a little bit to make sure we use the maximum amount of money that's been allotted to us by the state of Ohio, because we're coming in a little bit under budget right now on that. So if you see us call for a special meeting before the 30th, all money for this project has to be accounted for by September 30th. So we have a meeting Wednesday morning where we're gonna talk about what upgrades we can do, just to make sure we're maximizing that state grant that's been given to us all the way through. Did I do okay with that, Jason?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, next, the Walker property. So it's been a while, and it feels like, hey, what's going on? If you remember, and this is something I think is important, I think we have a very good relationship with our township right now, and a great partnership with them. And so we gave them first right of refusal for part of that property, because it butts up to a park that they already had. And we sold it to them for 80% of property, or market, what we would estimated market value. Still the right thing to do, 100%, we did it. Splitting that property has caused us some issues in trying to sell it, because we were splitting off 11 acres of it, which isn't enough to where it's situated to be able to build, and so to get health department approval, we've had to go through all sorts of different things, lump it together with their current property. So it currently is sitting in the title office. There's some things that they're finalizing, but it's the closest we've been to having that done. Once that's finalized, that remaining like 13 acres, we can now sell and put up there. We're gonna work with the realtor of Kiko Auction, who we've talked about all along, to determine, is it best to move forward right now, maybe have a late October sale? Or at this point in time, are we better off waiting on that sale until late March, early April? But it's the closest we've been to having it. There's been a lot of hang-ups, and I still believe it's been the right thing to do. I think we made the right decision. We're serving the same people the township's serving, so why would we not work with them to cooperate to get stuff done? And it's nothing that the township's done to cause it. It's just been the legwork that has to happen on that, so.
Is that property costing us anything right now besides, do we have to pay like taxes or anything?
No, we're tax exempt because we,
Okay.
so there is no cost to us other than any maintenance, and we've really just kind of
Right.
let it be property, not let anything. So no, and Jason, I'm correct, we don't have any big, but we do not pay any taxes or anything like that on it because.
So letting it sit till spring could be a good thing.
Yeah, and that's what we want to ask the
Yes.
realtors that have a better understanding of, or the auctioneers of when does property sell for the most. It will do us no harm to let it sit.
Right.
for
That's
that.
Did it get relabeled zoning wise? Is it residential or agriculture or what's
I'll
it?
have to check, I believe it can be residential or agricultural.
Yeah, I don't think we've done nothing in any that I'm aware of with any conversations of zoning. I do know that that was one of the things with like septic, there had to be so much and usable land of what, that was part of the health department hang up on the part we were transferring over to the township that they were purchasing off of us, but I don't think there's any zoning restrictions on it, but
What's the school zone at? What's the zoning for school? Because if you didn't change it, it would still be zoned. What school
I would,
zone?
I would think, but.
We have leased it out for agriculture.
Mm-hmm. Part of it.
Yeah, we did,
Part of it.
yeah,
Yes.
that's been on for years.
Yes.
Very small part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think there's any, like, I know it's not commercial, like, you know what I mean, with anything like
I
that.
actually don't know what schools are zoned normally, so
Yeah,
I don't.
that's a good question that I honestly
would
don't
know.
know. Again, I told
I'm
you.
sure
look-
Kiko
look
will
at
find
Jason
some
with the
solve
eye.
with like, if we need to change zoning.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
So that
Yeah,
somebody
for a
can
better
buy it and
sale.
Yes.
build or whatever.
We have not had an issue, we sold, Prairie College, and we didn't have an issue selling that, so it'll be the same, I believe. We didn't have to change the zoning or anything.
But was it a church that
Follow up.
bought Prairie College? Was it a church?
It was.
So probably whatever it was zoned worked for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up with
check
change.
we will check with Kiko before we move forward to make sure that buyers know what the zoning is and what they're getting
Yeah.
into, so that way somebody doesn't buy it and realize we can't do.
That's a
anything
good
with it.
point. Good point.
No, and again, that's where we work with the real estate agent, or, Kiko to really help us out there with that, so. Other than that, guys, that's really what I had, just wanna keep you updated on that as well. I had put out there to you guys about the possibility if we had the conflict of 8th grade class trip with graduation, which they're different people, but siblings, we are finalizing just to make sure there's no, there's just no little hangups that could be, but we've got the option to move the 8th grade class trip to a little bit earlier in May, which I think is gonna be the right thing to do and make sure that our families, so working with a few internal school things here, but hopefully having that announced here early this week in the next couple of days to everybody, so just, but other than that, that's kind of what I have, and I guess if you're okay, I'll just start moving into.
Go right in.
All right, so for personnel, guys, the first part here, resignation and retirement, and this will all be one part that we go through together. For resignation and retirement, Diane Knight, we had already approved her resignation for October 26th. And that was for retirement purposes. We have a staff member that is out on jury duty, grand jury duty in Summit County, which puts them out 4 days a week for a little over 8 weeks. That just started this past week. Yeah, thank goodness we don't live in Summit County on that one. So they're an intervention specialist. So instead of hiring another sub or whatever there, Diane Knight's gonna just stay and fill in for that role for her right now. And it just made more sense to go all the way to November. So it's like 4 or 5 more days, but that's what's happening with that there. So we'd like to approve her resignation for retirement purposes just a few days later than what she was before. Nicolette Marconi resigning as an educational parapro, Michelle Trumpauer Hinkle, bus driver, Sharon Stevens in the cafeteria. The next 3, Cody, Barb, and Nate, honestly, in the changeover of leadership at the buildings, they were placed up for supplemental contracts that they weren't interested in doing, but it was just kind of a renewal rolling over. And just in talking, that's what the resignations are for there with that, of just supplementals that they weren't looking forward to doing anyways this year. So we'd like to accept them, thankful for all their time they put in. And employment, you'll see Leah Leahy stepping in for the resident educator at the elementary position. And that's the mentor there for staff members that need to do it. Jill Nepshield and Patricia Pachedley. Jill is currently filling in for a teacher that's out on a medical leave, and that's why you see it at the $175 a day as she's running the class. It was a minimum of 2 weeks, could be up to a month depending on health issues for that teacher and how they follow up. So as you see, as needed per day, that just authorized us to pay them more than what a standard $125 a day substitute coming in would be, and that's the reason you see that there. For Patricia, she's filling in. We have a staff member who's out, and we're using one of our title teachers to fill in for that classroom because we don't know the length that that staff member is going to be out. So what we're doing is using Patricia as the substitute for title, and same deal, doing that $175 a day while they're in there doing that title work on that. Jessica Houghton as a cafeteria worker, we'd just like to move her from 3.5 to 5 to fill the position there from the top resignation. Crystal Zellers will come in as a 3.5. And guys, if you see effective upon the receipt of the background check and everything like that, not starting until we have that, everything ready to go, but we'd like to get that approval so that she is board approved, that as soon as it comes back in, we're ready to start and ready to go. Scott Steinmetz coming in as a monitor. That has replaced the resignation of the parapro at the top. If you remember, the last time that we negotiated with the classified union, we put in to have a monitor position. And at the high school level, as we fill, not all, but some of the parapro positions that leave, we're gonna fill with a monitor position, slightly less on the pay scale. And that was just determined because there is a difference in the level of work that's happening between some of these positions, particularly when you look across elementary buildings, other districts. So just so you're aware, if anybody's wondering why that's happening. The next 3 here, John Zimmerelli, Amy, well, actually go to John and Amy. We added a 3rd musical last year. They did that for free. They just wanted to try it, see if it would go. As we met with the union this year and they wanted to go again, we did put a memorandum of understanding into the contract that upon the agreement of the administration, if we have a 3rd musical, that we would have a stipend for a director and an assistant. And we are looking to do a 3rd musical again this year. As long as we can, and there's not issues maybe why we shouldn't for some reason, to give our kids as many opportunities and to use that performing arts Center, that's what we wanna do. The Creighton Rothermill, the fall assistant, that's to replace Nate Fate, who is just from there, so if you're wondering where that's coming from. And then the next one's Ellie Ayers is our student technician in the pack, that's at a student worker rate. And the last three, Victor, Eric, Tyler, those are coming in, as needed. Those are outside people that come and help with some of the productions as needed on Showtime. Kurt Hamilton was our announcer at the last football game. Kurt is actually an employee of Marlington Schools. He does Marlington's announcing. He did a great job for us, but we just need to get board approval to be able to pay him the $40 game worker rate. Christine Smith as a substitute educational parapro. And then the next two, anytime we have a new head coach, I always try to not just have them on the sheet of all the head coaches. You see it. Nathan Rothenstein has been selected by our athletic department, and my recommendation to hire as our new softball coach. He is one of our techs already that works on our computers here, works for Nick. Nick has nothing but great things to say about it, works really hard. He's been a travel softball coach, done a lot of work, really came in and blew our committee away with his plans, with his detail oriented of how he wanted to build a program. So we're excited to have him pick up and start working with our kids here. And then the next one's the athletic hires. That's listed on SA1. That is for returning head coaches, like you'll see Cody Edwards, John Hinkle as a strength coach, and then assistant coaches that are on there ready to go. But anytime you see a new head coach, and obviously I know we need to talk because we need to pull Brady out on that one with everything. I think that's the only one, but I'd like to recommend item 1 there for approval, which is personnel.
I get a motion to accept item A with the exception of Brady Knoll, JV boys basketball coach.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any questions or concerns? Mr. Schatz will call the roll.
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Kubetsky?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to vote on Brady Knoll, JV's basketball coach.
I'll second.
Any questions or concerns? Mr. Schatz, will you call the roll?
Dr. Knoll?
Abstain?
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Kubetsky?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. Item B, the resolution to approve the gross max price amendment 3 with Beaver Constructors for the Career Tech Expansion Program. That's in Exhibit SB1, but this is just to allocate the spending of all the money that we have up till right now within that. And again, guys, coming in right now, we are currently under budget, and that's why we are gonna sit back down and look at what other some improvements we can do to the building to make sure that we are maximizing the use of the grant that we've received from the state, so.
Can I get a motion to approve item B?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any questions or concerns?
Was the original estimate like worst case scenario? Like,
So, yeah, great question. So
I'm
when-
not familiar with things coming in under budget.
Yeah, so when we got started, and it goes back, and I gotta give so much credit to Krista Gerhardt, who was our career tech director at the time and now high school principal. We had to come up with a proposal of what we were asking for before we really knew much of anything.
Oh.
So we sat down with an architect, we got permission to do that, got ideas, took our best guess
Okay.
with everything, and that's what we asked the state for, was that money. And we wanted to make sure, I mean, we were within the ballpark, and so, I mean, Jason, when we
The state
talked.
the state also put in a very healthy contingency amount for
Oh.
each project because of the quick turnaround that they were asking districts to do. So the contingency amount that we have is a little bit higher than a normal project would be, so.
Okay.
The good news for us is we're gonna get probably an upgraded steel roof and a couple of things that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise to help extend the life of that building for us and have less maintenance issues.
Right, reduce the ongoing, okay, thank you.
No problem, and I gotta say this too, and this is really, we throw the restrooms that we did here in the middle school, like our third, but Beaver has been fantastic at maximizing value. I mean, really, they did a great job on the middle school for us as well, and we came in right on budget, just slightly, yeah.
Our budgets have been really, really close, so.
Yeah.
We've done a good job with the projects that we have done.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mr. Schatz, will you call the roll?
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Kubetsky?
Abstain.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Alright, so item C, and we're just lumping these all under contracts, guys, there's 3 of them here. The first one is for our services with Spark, which is the Stark Portage Area Computer Consortium. It is the land where internet comes from, and it is where all of our, I mean, just to be very honest with you, it is where a lot of our, computer services, where a lot of our programs, all the different things, they run through Spark. We get consortium pricing because they do service all of Stark County and the Portage County area there with everything like that. Really, really happy with them. I'd like to make sure we approve that. The next one is our agreement with the Stark County Educational Service Center. It is required that we join an educational service center, and we have been with the Stark County SC, and I mean, since the inception of it here, and very, very happy with the services we receive through them, the support we receive for superintendents, for curriculum, for treasurers, within the technology department. They're tied right in with Spark. We get our insurance, now that's through the Stark County Councils of Governance, but it's all run through the Stark County ESC, as well as special programming, special services, all sorts of things that we get from there. So I'd like to recommend that we approve that one, which is number 2. Number 3 you're gonna see, which is Amplify CKLA High Dosage Tutoring Agreement. So this is something that is online virtual tutoring that we are doing for our 4th and 5th graders this year. Our K through 3rd graders are gonna receive it coming through our title teachers that are there. It is gonna really be for students that are on a reading improvement plan. And I think you guys probably in your committee talked about this a little bit here, but it is high dosage tutoring, and we're gonna be monitoring out how it works, how effective it is, which model works out best. $80,000 of the cost is gonna come from title funds that we have, which is an allowable use. The remaining $11,000 is gonna come out of the general fund, but I'd like to recommend that we approve those contracts as well.
I make the motion that we approve C for contracts.
Second?
Any questions or concerns?
I just had one, and you touched on it. So Amplify does say that it'll collect feedback from the students. Will that be unsupervised feedback?
So they will be in rooms with our, kids are not gonna be totally by themselves, and correct me, Jamie, if I'm wrong on any of this. They are going to be in rooms, maybe working in the back, having headphones on, doing different things, because kids are, if you walk in an elementary classroom, kids are on computers all the time, but there shouldn't be anything happening that's not monitored by us, so.
Well, it was more so to see if we'd get valuable feedback, right? Versus, even as an adult, when you have to fill out a survey, it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So given that this is intense, I read through all the comments here about what will happen. That was the part that said we need measurable feedback from a 4th grader.
Yeah. And do you wanna talk a little bit?
Sure, that's gonna combine both qualitative and quantitative data from them. So
Okay.
not just their engagement, their attendance, their feedback on the relationship with the tutor, because every group of 4 students will be with one tutor throughout
Right.
the 32 weeks.
Yeah.
So they'll be gathering that information, but they'll also be doing progress monitoring on their achievement as well, and their
Okay.
gap culture, so it'll be both.
Excellent. That's great. Thanks.
Yep.
And that's why I bring the experts in. And
Yeah.
I mean that in all honesty, to answer, so.
Yeah, no, it
Great
looks
question,
interesting.
no, absolutely.
Mr. Schatz, will you call the roll?
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Koweski?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
All right, finally for me then, miscellaneous here. So just one, we'd like to authorize the agreement of, to be able to transport students through LED transportation. There are sometimes we have students that have to go to alternative placements to maybe meet some of the needs that they have. And it's a better fit for us to do, especially with bus driver shortages at times, to contract with an outside agency. We do that with LED, to have them transport them. And we'd like to just continue to be able to do that. They've been a great partner, and we really appreciate them. And then number 2 is the overnight student trip to Atomic Raceway. In May of last year, Dave Andrews brought up race cars from Atomic Raceway, brought it down to our students in our auto tech class, which is Jay Braber, showed the kids how they work. I'm glad no one's aired this video. There's a video of me trying to climb into the race car, which I was not very graceful as I was doing. But is also set it up with Jay now for our kids to be able to go down. Dave's arranged for, and Jay picked 6 kids, and he had a criteria that he picked in his class, like performance, attendance from last year and some things from this year as well, that are gonna get to go down, they have VIP passes for them, and are getting to spend the night and spend a couple days at the racetrack, seeing how things work, and getting to watch a race here in early October. So, grateful for Dave bringing that to our kids, grateful for Jay taking the initiative, say, yeah, we'll take the kids and go, and so I'd like to approve that, that they have that opportunity to do the overnight trip as well. And that's all for me.
Okay, can I get a motion
I'll make a
for items
motion.
D?
Second?
Any questions or concerns?
So, because I'm the new person, I'm asking all the questions, I'm
No,
sorry.
ask away.
How many, it says there's 4 going, how many are in the program?
So we have, total close to 50. We have close to 50 seats that are in that program. So 25 juniors, 25 seniors. When Jay had originally talked to me, he was looking at possibly pulling his top 3 seniors based off of
Okay.
criteria grades and everything like that. And then from the early on coming some juniors as well with everything like that. So I don't know if he had picked his top 6 and then the other 2 could not go.
Okay.
So that there's only 4. But most of our career tech programs, if you figure a baseline of 25 juniors, 25 seniors, they get that.
For the
Yep.
typical, and then it says that how they'll share with their peers, is that typically structured? Or is it just,
That would be
they'll
up to,
talk about
no,
it?
that would be up to the teacher. A lot of
Okay.
time, that would be whatever the teacher would decide to do. My thought would be he would probably have them do like a presentation. I'm sure the kids will be snapping pictures of
Oh, right, yeah.
when they're down there and coming back and sharing the different things. And for us, anytime we can get our kids, and I mean this, any type of opportunity out in like a real world, like this is how it works, we're all for it. But that would be up to Jay within his individual classroom, how he would have them share out with them.
Okay, excellent, yeah, cause I was curious if there were chaperones needed.
No, yep, so Jay going down with them would be the, oh, you want to go,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm a little slow on that one,
Yeah,
there, we
that's
can
okay.
get you working.
Yeah, no, all right, that's great then, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, no.
Mr. Schatz will call the roll.
Dr. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Informational items or board concern?
The session doesn't start until November. They're out politicking and doing all their thing right now. But there's a few things in committees that we're going to look at that keep an eye on and see how they're going. Nothing right now.
Other business?
Nothing that I have.
Okay. If you have any questions pertaining to the agenda items or board actions, you can email Mr. Yegley, Mr. Schatzel, or myself. Okay? No executive session. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Any questions or concerns? Mr. Schatzel, call the roll.
Mr. Kowski?
Aye.